Previously on The Guardians of Fehal.
In our last episode, the party fought a bandit attack, successfully fending them off. While some did escape, they managed to capture one of their leaders and escort them to the local sheriff in Karen. After turning them in, they discussed some tactics on what happens the next time one of them gets captured, and also came up with a clever way to communicate through Spriul if any of them are in danger when they're separated. After passing through Meyerfield, the party safely made their way back to Faine with the merchants all intact, as well as their merchandise. As soon as they returned, Una ran to Sigourney the Weaver to see if she could finish a custom dress in time for Nora's birthday, which was on a day or two away. As the party is collecting their money and settled in for the night, Una was given a letter with the Duchess's seal on it, written by her Uncle Boyd, asking her to come to the keep with her companions, as they had much to discuss. So you guys are in the guild. You're settling in for the night, unless there's anything else you guys wanted to do before going to bed.
No.
Okay.
Hans and Trons does not have any tasks completed before a night time. Let's see here. My path leads me past the bathroom, so I'll probably go there.
Go take a bath.
I take a poop.
No.
A very long poop.
No. It's a
Hans
quick
and Franz
one.
doesn't poop?
Oh, no, he does. But this is just a quick one, and then into the bath.
Nora, after telling Una about a letter waiting for her, are you doing anything for the night?
None in particular, I don't think. I think she would just be like doing her usual routine of cleaning everything that she has and making sure everything's all organized and like pristine, but she's taking extra care simply because of her parents visiting soon. So she'd be like, making sure everything is spick and span.
You're gonna go yell at the people in the guild, clean this up! Gee, there's fucking cobwebs in the corner. Jesus, what have you guys been doing?
Only her own things.
Gone for a week. Can't leave you fuckers
Goes
alone.
crazy and cleans the whole guild hall.
She would probably be like roping Rowan into like, they can't be here and see this. Come on, help me take care of this, and like is asking him to like clean things in high reached areas where she can't reach.
Is the top of your bunk all cleaned? I can't see it.
Exactly.
Dolphins are like, what are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
All right, just kind of like
Look here, you're
away.
taking her job.
At that point, Nora like gets slightly embarrassed and goes to bed.
I did too much work. Andrew, is Hans and Franz doing anything? Or is he just hitting the hay?
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do. Like, nothing
Okay.
out of the ordinary.
Wait, there's hay bales we can punch?
There's hay out in the stable, which is not on this map, but you could go out to the stables and punch. All right, you guys, if there's nothing else going on, night passes and morning comes.
Una will try to find the group and wake up super early. So what you'll probably do is Hans and Franz Andrews up first, usually, right?
Well, to be fair, Rowan's.
So-
True.
To be fair.
But-
Well, yeah. Well, that's true. She'd probably go to Rowan, because Rowan's always next to Nora, and Nora's probably still sleeping. So what she'll do is she'll go to Rowan and have him get the group together, because we need to go see the Duchess today, and have them meet me at Cece's, aka the Tanner, and we can go as a group together. But I have to go to the Tanner to work on stuff. So Una's gonna give Rowan that and say we should do it by
Go to Cece's.
Go to Cece's. at like 11:30.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see how much he could regurgitate without you reminding him.
I know.
I literally had to go through it again in my brain. I was like, shit, where are we going? CC's. Okay, got it.
Wait, we're gonna go get pizza?
Yep,
I'm
gotta
really
go to
confused.
Yeah. As long as it's
I
got
always-
the dessert pizza.
Okay.
Okay, Rowan, you have that message to concur. Una, we will cut briefly to you going to Sigourney the Weavers to meet. The person that you asked to borrow is outside and looks like you're talking to Sigourney. And basically, you guys hammer out the money details and you start work with what you can. So like you help them out. Mostly what they have you do is like Sigourney is basically leading this, and she's basically having her apprentice kind of do the other commission orders a little bit while she maps out the dress part, and then actually then starts having them cut pieces and stuff, and she has you help them cut things out, and that's probably
Okay.
where you get in the morning part. And now we cut back over to you guys. Rowan, you have a message to deliver to people whenever you find them, unless you guys are doing anything else in the morning.
Just going to the breakfast hall, cutting through the kitchen, getting some food.
I'm gonna go pick up my sending stones.
All right, you can do that. They are gift wrap.
Yeah.
They gift wrap. Just special.
I unwrap one and put it in my pocket. Once for me.
Was once for me.
Once for me. Did it feel nice to unwrap it though?
It felt okay.
Half the pleasure of getting a gift is tearing that paper apart.
It's like getting a package in the mail. Ooh, what's this?
What is this?
I
For
love
me?
shredding envelopes.
Megan, did you tell me just to tell the boys to go to CC's? Or did you say
it's
everyone?
everyone.
Okay.
She said,
Everyone,
she
so
said the
everyone
party
can come.
Okay.
specifically.
I was
Yeah.
pretty sure you said everyone, but I was like, wait, is Nora supposed to come? Because
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, because we all need to go speak to the
right,
lady.
right,
So / Boyd.
Boyd.
Oh,
Uncle
Boyd.
Boyd.
Yep.
Oh, Boyd.
Billy Boyd?
Billy
No, just
Bob.
Boyd.
Yeah. So I'll.
Don't ask me how the hell I came up with these names. We're
I
just
lo-
gonna
I love
ignore.
how- I mean, it's probably supposed to be like Boyd, like or
Boyd?
something,
Yeah.
you know. But
Yep.
it's kind of
Yeah.
funny because like we picked
Well, you-
that name as the elder name.
Yep.
It doesn't sound very
Out of all
like
of them, it's Boyd.
Boyd.
Una, Ulin, Boyd.
Hey, technically, Ulin and I aren't brother and sister.
Right,
It's like
right,
step
right.
brother sister,
Yeah.
but not even. It's like weird adoptedness.
Well, not really adopted at all.
You're not related
Well-
whatsoever. You're
That's
just
true.
it's
Legal
just like
or
family
otherwise.
friend
Feels like it.
status. He's family friend status.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, sister's ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, because you got
Yeah.
you got Boyd, Duncan, Padrig.
Yep.
Your mother's name was Ilsa.
Ilsa,
Ice-
yeah.
Yeah, Ilsa. Elisad. I think that's how you say your dad's name.
Yeah.
It's Ealasaid.
Yeah. That's how I
Ivor-
assumed.
Ivor's your
Sounds like
brother.
Elsaid. Or El Said.
Elsaid. It wouldn't. I don't think it would be El Said. I think Elsaid would be closer.
It all depends on how they pronounce it.
Yeah. Ivor is your brother, and then Gretchen and Colleen.
then we
are your
have-
sisters.
Boyd.
Boyd.
And it's Boyd.
Uncle Boyd.
He's adopted.
No, he's not.
Mhm.
He's the eldest of his siblings.
Yeah.
So you all don't know that he's adopted.
Mhm.
That's true.
Hey, Megan, just a quick question here, because I was triple checking my notes. Is he the tribe? He's just a tribe elder, though. He's not the chief, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
what I thought.
I
Okay.
figured that'd be very assumptuous of me that one of my family would be.
Assumptious.
Assumptious?
Just be like Hans and Franz, where both your parents are on the leadership board.
I'm good.
On the leaderboard.
I got the question.
Yes.
Who's CC?
Oh,
That's
She's the one who did your- She's the one who
Sierra.
did your.
No,
Yeah.
Lizzie, I know that. Hansa doesn't know who the fuck CC is.
I think that's Sierra. You know how Una gives people nicknames and whatnot.
Oh. Okay, that's... Well, I'm not going to say that makes sense, but okay.
yes. So we have to meet Una at Sierra's so that we can all go meet her uncle.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Well, when do we need to be there?
Somewhere before noon, probably 11:30.
Okay.
And what time is it like right now, honey?
Probably super early.
Considering you guys normally get up like probably around sunrise, for having breakfast and Hans and Franz having time to go get ascending stones and come back, it's probably 9 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
You got a little bit of time.
Excellent.
We got time.
All the time in the world.
Sam, did we actually purchase the
No.
inn?
Nora would probably actually
Purchase the
just
inn.
suggest
Purchase the inn room?
I'd like to buy this property.
we're gonna buy this entire property, please.
This building now belongs to me.
I work for the Merchant Guild. Name me price.
No, Nora would probably ask Rowan if he wants to go a little bit early.
Should we go to the inn and maybe just get that all sorted out before we leave? I'm not sure if Hans and Franz, if either of you want to come with us, but otherwise we could just meet you there.
Yeah, I mean, we could probably just meet you at Cece's unless there's something you need us to help with at the inn, or...
No, Lizzie, is the inn on like the way to Cece's, or would we have to like double back and head back
You
to go to Cece's?
were looking at inns close to the Merchants Guild, right?
Yes. I think we
Okay,
had
not in
already
the
picked one out.
Yeah, not in the Fey district, right?
No.
No.
If I remember correctly, it was one that was like a few streets away. And it would probably be a few streets to the east and not the west, which CC
Okay,
is
so we would
the
have to go
west.
back.
Yeah, but only by a couple streets. It's not far away from the Merchants Guild.
Okay, then
if
at
you
that
have
point
it,
we
no-
Like
would
a 2-minute walk.
If you have it noted anywhere, it's the Sunrise Inn.
That's what I was like. Is it the sunset or is it the sunrise in? I don't remember.
East side, west
Sunrise,
side. Dang it, I don't
sunset.
know.
It's the La Quinta.
It's like-
Spanish
Now-
for...
Now, which
Bad
one
names.
is it the one on North 7th Street or is it the one on East Belsley?
Well, you know what? They didn't specify.
Does it have Taco Bell in it or no?
Only the finest dining at a La Quinta Inn. We are not sponsored by La Quinta Inn.
Please,
I
please
thought
we
don't
could
bother.
be.
Please don't
I've
sponsor us.
I've never been in a La Quinta Inn. No idea
I've
what
Don't
I've
say
had-
that. They won't sponsor us.
I'm saying if they offered me a free night to stay in one of their hotels and it was good, I would totally sponsor them. Want to be sponsored?
Here's a secret. It's not. It's kind of like the Spirit Airlines of hotels.
So we have to get
You have to buy your own
no,
luggage storage.
what would be like hotel insurance? It's like what's the equivalent to traveler's
Travel
insurance?
insurance?
But what
No,
like
that's-
for a hotel though?
Oh, I mean,
Well,
there's
it's
like
like-
cancellation.
Yeah, travelers. Yeah.
No, like you get the insurance on your airfare.
Yeah.
That's also traveler's insurance. It covers
Oh,
your
it
hotel.
covers the
Well,
hotel?
depends on what plan you get. Yeah. Yes, the Sunrise Inn.
Yes.
You go successfully book. They want to know how many nights you want it. People will be staying in it, and basically what kind of room you want. They have a little bit of fancier options. It's basically there's ones with like more of a public, like you can use the public bath, and there's a couple that have like a more of a private bathing area.
Should we get the one at the private bathing area?
I was just thinking. I think private would probably be best.
Okay. We're not really sure how many days. Would it be okay if we pay for a few now and we add additional days later if necessary?
That would be fine. For that type of room, it will be 2 gold pieces a night.
So, do we want to do like 3 days and then just see what Mama and Papa say?
Sure. But I have 5 silver per night written in my notes.
But you're getting the private bath.
Yeah,
The
this
private
is the
bathing.
private room.
Okay.
Much larger.
Damn.
Much.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
should we just do 3 nights then, and then we can add more later when we talk to them?
Sure.
Okay.
You guys
And it
literally
starts.
just got paid how much?
It
Yeah. No,
starts. When do they get here? Tomorrow,
I
or is it
think
the day after?
they
No,
do
it's-
arrive tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. Okay.
we've
So
got
we'll
about-
let them
about
know.
2 days.
Yeah, we'll let them know that, and we'll pay 6 gold.
Is that a 4 p.m. check-in?
What's the checkout time?
Where do I put my luggage in the meantime?
Can you hold on to it for me?
Sure.
Yes,
Do you have a tagging service?
the arrangements are made. You successfully get this room saved for your parents. It's nice. They actually show you what it looks like.
Ooh,
And it has a nice actual, like, more comfortable bed in it. It looks like there's, like, a private bath area that is enchanted to have, like, water pumped into it. So that's why this is a more expensive room.
Does it have a balcony with a view of the pool?
They don't have It would have to be
why not?
What, I mean, it doesn't have a view of the shared bathing area?
Right.
No, it doesn't. Surprisingly, it doesn't.
I thought that's what we were paying.
Bullshit.
Gold.
You guys get the room set up. Is there anything else you guys want to do, or should we skip to meeting Una?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else. Let me see here. One of the things that I know I was going to do with the scimitars, right? Some of the resources we got from the bandits was because I had how many? Or no, I already traded that for silver.
Wait.
I think. Yeah, I already traded that for silver.
You did that last night, I think.
For
you
silver
guys got
ingots.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Did we get profits?
Yeah, you went to bed. You left.
So I get no profits?
Yeah, you guys got paid. Was it like Megan, what did I tell you it was? Wasn't it like 2,500 gold?
Oh wait, no, yeah, we put 500 into. We gave 500 to
Yes.
To the party
Song?
fund.
We did. No, Song was his own thing. That
Yeah.
was he got.
We got
the,
paid to walk him back.
We
Oh, yeah,
each got 50 platinum.
Yeah.
But we all donated 10 platinum to. No wait.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. 500 gold went to the party fund, and everyone got
Yep.
400 gold each.
Yes.
So 40 platinum.
40
Yeah.
platinum.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That's what I did get that. Or at least if I didn't, I've got a lot of platinum. Ugh.
More from me. Off to CC's.
Yep, you guys successfully make your way to the Fae district. It is a little bit of a light drizzle today, but not too bad.
Okay.
It's getting a little chilly because it's about early October, so it's probably more in like the mid 50s.
Chilly.
Getting cooler weather. It's getting a little chilly. But you guys successfully make it to CC's, no issue. Una, what time are you guys getting there? You said 11:30 or 11:30.
Yeah.
I told Rowan 11:30.
Okay, yeah. So Megan, I don't know if you would come out of Sigourney's by that time, but
She'd probably be watching, and basically whenever Sigourney takes her break, which is probably around this time, she'll just let them know that she has a meeting, and then she'll be back right after it if they want to keep working, and she'll be back as soon as she can. to help. Because we're going to get this dress. It's going to be super pretty.
No, you guys successfully meet up with Una. She looks like she's been busy all morning, working on a sewing project.
What does that look
What
like?
does one look like when they've completed a sewing
A little
exhausted, covered in threads and like little pieces of felt, and her hair is probably like all crazy, falling out of a braid. And
Wow, very vigorous work.
Dude, sewing's very difficult. Just saying.
You can see that she has a couple pins like stuck like in her shirt. Like she had just stuck them there for a minute and then was gonna be like pulling them out, and she just forgot to do that.
Yep.
So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. No. So yeah, she's just covered in felt. I'll probably use a wand or prestidigitation on myself as well, and anybody else who looks like they might be a little dirty. And then I'll probably also do
pins.
I think those are the
she'll pull
daggers.
them out and put them in
Little tiny
her bag.
daggers. Ha!
Right. But yeah, so she'll kind of use the wand of prestidigitation on herself, and then anyone else who probably might need it, and then she'll also use the wand of mending on herself if needed, and kind of just make herself look as nice as possible through this, because she knows that this is going to be a thing.
Does mending
freaking
repair braided hair?
No, but she'll probably like take it out and like redo it while we're walking and try to just look as presentable as possible.
Are you okay, Una? You seem a bit nervous.
Well, this could be either a good meeting, a bad meeting, or I might have to go home meeting. So we'll find out.
Why would you have to go home?
Because I might get put on a new mission. I might have gotten into trouble because I did too much. So I might have to get sent back to camp.
But aren't you like, you know, an adult now? Don't you get to make your own choices?
I haven't earned my mark yet, so I do not have as much freedom as others in my village right now.
Okay, how do you get your mark?
By completing a task that they deem worthy.
I thought this was it.
No, this is the stepping stone to it.
You said you
Or
needed to
this
find
would have
this
been it.
person to make you a woman.
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah, this is
This
a
is how-
step on that path.
Oh,
This seems like a very
I mean-
large step to make.
are these people
somebody
just
not an
adding
adult.
steps? They're like, oh yeah, that was great job, Una. But now
Now you
we
brought
need
down
you
the
to
whole
do
criminal
this.
organization. So what do you actually do? Do you have to bring down like an adult dragon?
Well, it all depends on
Venerables
what
are still
they-
here. We could probably, you
you.
know.
But like I said to Hans and Franz, I may have overstepped my original task. So
Well, that
that
means
could
it's 2
be a step
steps.
backwards
You're
as
closer
well.
to adulthood.
Or I took a step forward, and then because of that error, I could have taken a step back. But
Oh.
only they know, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yep, at this point, she's like looking at everybody else and using the wand on them as well at this point.
Hey, I was saving that for later as
Bacon flies flies
I
out
wanted
the
to be
pockets.
Extra porky today.
Look, that pocket bacon was for later.
You guys make your way to the keep. This time when you appear with the guards outside of it, they ask your name and purpose and like those sort of details.
Well,
Yeah,
my name
tell 'em that we're
is
here to
Rowan. I was built to protect my sister Nora. I fight things.
Raises an eyebrow.
Who's this interrogating
Um,
us?
Tell them
The person
that
at
we're
the
here to see. Yeah, at the gate, the guards at the gate. Just tell them here that we're here to see the Duchess and the visitors, and that they called to have us come here today, and that she may be expecting us.
I have an appointment.
Can you be more
It's not really an appointment because I didn't tell her ahead of time, so it's more like we're here because you told us to show up. So
Do you have any proof of the fact that you were called to visit?
I will show him the letter.
Okay. He'll study the seal for a bit and look at, like, he's mainly investigating the seal to see if this looks like an official, like, thing. And he's like, all right.
It's official.
Give me one moment. And then he does the same letter thing they have at the school. Looks like he's waiting for somebody to confirm that you guys are allowed to come in. Confirms it as you guys walk in. They do actually, they would have done this probably not the last time you came in because you were kind of escorting a prisoner, but this time they do kind of look over what weapons you have and do a similar like peace bond thing, like what they do at the school for those of you who've had that happen before. So yep, yeah, they just do that. And they escort you to the guardhouse area that actually, no, they would escort you inside the palace proper this time, which last time you guys just went to the guardhouse. The architecture itself does remind you a lot of nature. There's a lot of elements in it. There's a lot of flower details carved into the walls and colors. And you guys are escorted through the main hall area and down more of narrow hallways and are taken to essentially a meeting room where, Una, you recognize two of the figures standing in the room.
Ooh.
But they are all dressed in clothes from your village. 3 of them are wearing elders' garbs. The first one you recognize, they're all sitting down at the table, is your Uncle Boyd. For the rest of you, this is an older man, kind of on the shorter side, with a stoic face and large brown eyes. He is dressed in a long woven tunic with loose pants underneath. His long hair is tied back into a plain, neat bun with very few ornamentations of braids. His red-brown hair does have quite a few streaks of gray, and he has a thick beard, but it is very neatly combed and, trimmed neatly. He's the posture of a man who looks like he's carrying all the weight of the generations before him, like very, very much stately, kind of trying to carry himself professionally. Around his neck hangs 3 carved bones that are shaped in circles, and a chain connects all 3 together that are made of various pieces of sea glass and shell. And Una, like if you guys, as you get closer, you can see that the little circles are carved with a similar shape of the seal chasing the fish, but it looks like different ages on the seal. So like there's like a young seal, there's more of a adult seal, and then like an older seal.
And how do they differentiate ages of seals?
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Size and
Yeah, size.
coloration.
Yep.
Size
That's
and
in
what?
what?
Coloration.
Oh, you guys get colored tattoos.
Once you get old enough. And it's not
Fancy.
tattooed. It's
It's not.
their
They're jewelry.
ornamentation. So,
Oh,
so like
oh,
how
oh.
Una has her leather press, these are
Mhm.
more.
They're bone that is
Decorative?
then painted. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like
I
bone,
see.
and then some of the imagery on it is painted.
Gotcha. So almost like badges.
Yeah.
Yep.
Marks of life.
Yep. The next
Are
man.
those the marks you're talking about?
I'm not done with my
No.
descriptions yet.
Oh.
Hold on. I mean, you can ask that. I'm not done with my descriptions yet.
Carry on.
The second person there is another man. This one is much older than the first one. He is very weathered by time, and he has very intricate braids woven with actually bones and shells that are noticeable in it, and has a receding hairline, but he still has his very long hair braided, what isn't receded. He's dressed in various two-tone blues and is dressed similar to the first man, with the tunic and the loose pants. And his dark, rich skin is decorated with tattoos across his forearms, and he's very muscly. Looks more of like a warrior type. And he has the same jewelry piece. There is a woman in her 40s with gold, dark hair tied in intricate braids and piled up on her head, kind of like a crown, but no actual crown or jewelry, just the braids. She's wearing two-tone gray fabric with loose pants and a tunic, and she has some battle scarring and muscles around her face and neck with more of a discerning expression. And the final person in the room is probably the younger one, maybe young 40s. he has his braid in a very mohawk style, similar to Una's, with brown hair and a slightly stern face, and many battle scars on his face and arms, and a bow strapped to his back and a large spear made of sea glass. But his features are much softer compared to the serious elders in the room, and he's dressed more like a hunter and has very few pieces of ornamentation. You can see in his round hair there are a couple strands of bright red hair braided in. And Una, you recognize this person. This is your father.
I knew it! I knew it!
Oh.
So my dad and uncle are here. Awesome.
And you can see as you walk in the room, like you can, Una, give me a perception check.
Oh God.
It's at this point that Hans and Franz asks,
Are those the marks that you mentioned?
They're the marks I was talking about is more of a brand. They'll sear our skin.
Oh.
Ooh, perception.
Oh,
That's a
Jesus.
21.
You see for a split second as he sees you, immediate like a smile and like a, oh, I'm happy she's like okay, you know, like I'm so happy it is, you know, who he thought it was and that she's okay. And then it kind of goes back to poker face of like business, but like he gives you like it's like a small reassuring like, hey kiddo, I'm glad to see you.
Aw, I
Hey,
love my
kiddo.
dad.
Cute.
Love my dad. He's so nice.
That's who's sitting in the room. They were actively discussing things. Your father was the one who noticed you come in the room and made a gesture. And then finally the others kind of stopped talking and notice all of you. And your uncle looks at you and he says, Cadet Una, please introduce your companions and a status report.
Yes, sir. And
So cool to
who's
see.
how are we standing? So Una would probably be in the forefront.
I'm on
at
2
this point.
feet.
Ah!
I will do
I
a
mean, somebody else is
flamingo.
down on all fours. That's not good.
I'm actually
she'll
upside
point
down on my
to-
head.
She'll point to Hans and Franz Andrew first and be like, this is Hans and Franz and his twin brother, also Hans and Franz. And then she'll point to Josh's character, and then she'll point, this is Nora and her brother Rowan. Do you guys have last names?
Yeah.
Never asked.
I don't think we've ever asked. These have
Nora
been...
just gives the cutesy, like small wave, kind of shy.
I look at my brother like, we are odds in front.
I know. People don't understand.
So at this point too, as she's pointing it out, like Nora's standing pretty much as tall and straight and as
You mean
professional as she can. Yeah, Una. What did I say?
Nora.
You said Nora.
Una? That's happened a couple
God.
times where you keep saying that.
Okay.
I have to catch. I
Una.
have to catch myself when
Yeah.
I'm talking about both of you. I'm like, Nora, Una, Nora, Una.
Right.
Which one's my sister?
completely
Which one's my
different.
sister?
Yeah. So Una is standing
cosplays your
very
sister.
straight, very high in posture, and making herself look as professional as possible. After she introduces you guys, these have been my companions through the last month, almost 2 at this point. We've done several missions together, and they also were the ones who helped get Lou's group and also helped secure Ulin as a possible ally inside the first ones.
Hans and Franz will just be like nodding,
Mhm. Same.
Nodding.
just like trying to mirror their stoic faces and just kind of.
Mhm.
Yeah, arms crossed. Just,
Yep. We're like 2 giant bears standing on either side of Una right now.
The woman looks everyone up and down and is kind of taking your measure, and she says, well, you certainly chose muscle to help you along with your mission, and it
Or-
seems that
At this point, looking at herself, this string bean. She's like, "What? No, clearly not."
yeah.
I mean, they know you turn into a bear. That's a lot of muscle right there. Yeah, monster.
I would say that it's not just muscle, but brains as well, as we have a wonderful caster in this group as well.
Hans and Franz will
Thank
just
you.
like look over at his brother.
All 3 of us are like, Yeah, that's me.
All four
All
of
four
you.
of us. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
Which was she talking about?
Yeah. Wisdom, charisma. Well, brains, obviously.
Mhm. Basically, she nods and is like, "Tell me, I'm very interested into knowing why, how all four of you came involved with the matters of our village and your current investment in it."
I have a
other
question.
than helping.
She's asking us directly and not
Yes.
Megan.
Yes, like it's
Um,
not like she's ignoring them. It's more of like she wants to assess you guys as people who were brought into this.
I'll kind of step forward, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. We, over a period of time, have all worked for the guild. It's how we met Una, not Nora, Una. And we worked with her for a couple of weeks. And it came to our attention that there might be a robbery at school. It was in working with that it came to our attention that this may be a matter of your village. And it wasn't until after we brought them in and were there for some of the questions that we kind of found out the extent of what your village kind of is. But it was because Una was a good friend to us and helped us out on some missions that we got involved.
See, seems fortunate in helping her foil these troublemakers' plans. Boyd speaks up at this point and says, "I must admit, I am surprised to find you so far inland, Una. I've known about it for a fair bit of time, but it is fortunate, in a way, that you came this far in and stopped a...
It was
Great chance.
only.
I wasn't done talking.
Sorry.
It is fortunate that you did decide to come in this far inland and act even though it was not quite your directive. And then the well-muscled man who's kind of like sitting there scoffing is like, Boyd, if everyone followed what their exact directives was, we'd never get anything done. And then you can see there's a little bit of like scoff from Boyd where he says, "You were never one for following protocol."
Wow. Sassing in front of the group. Okay.
Yes, they all there's a little bit of like a directive, like there's a little bit of scuffle between them. The woman just is like, "Anyway, it seems that you were wise in choosing your companions and have come quite far with it. We have decided to entrust potentially Ulin with returning to your uncle and seeing if he can gather any more inside information as a spy. But before we do that, I'm very interested in hearing how he approached you as a potential traitor."
On his word, I trusted him and everything he's done us in the capture of Lou, as well as protect the artifact as best as we could.
The woman looks at the rest of you and she says, "What is your all opinion of him as an outsider?"
Of who? Lou or
Ulin.
Ulin? Oh,
I would say that he has some growing up to do. He can act a bit childish, but he did seem concerned for Una's well-being, and he did keep up the ruse of not being on our side while quite literally doing no harm to any of us. So, based on his cooperation with the Duchess, I mean, not that they had much of a choice, but I think he just kind of lost his way. And being forced to face those facts, he's learning to growl, something that I don't think he did while he was buried in the bottle.
When he found out what the intention was to use the artifact for, he didn't necessarily agree with it, so that kind of also helped move him to our side. Or at least off of, Lou's side. And the task of the first ones. The true task.
The man who looks like a ranger and a huntsman speaks up at this point, and he says, "That definitely is the measure I took of him with all of our interviews. Whether he's a saint, I cannot agree with that in good conscience, but I do think that he's at least sorry enough and going to make the most of what his chance is, and we should treat it for what it is." Sigmar says, "It's true. It's never you never catch a fish unless you put some bait on the line."
I would say, if I may, to make sure that the bait is wrapped tight so that it doesn't get lost.
Mm-hmm. Well, Boyd says, "Well, it seems we have very little choice but to trust Ulin in this matter, although as unsavory as it is to find out about the first ones and what my foolish brother may have to do with them all. But your help is appreciated, and you have our consent to know of our village, and we entrust you with its secret." Boyd then says,
I turn and look out to my brother like, what the fuck is that supposed to, like?
Memory wipe.
That only works to an extent.
You want to run that by me again?
"I'm saying that you seemed trustworthy, that's all."
Okay. Seemed like you were implying something.
Like you weren't going to let us leave here.
No. Just that we entrust you with the secret of our village. I hope you realize what a gravitas thing that is.
No.
I don't think it involves very much music.
Una will just pipe in at this
I understand
point.
that your village is supposed to be a secret, but I mean, the Duchess knew about it before we even brought it up.
She only had limited knowledge. You guys have far more knowledge than she did prior to our
That's
involvement.
not true at all.
Oh, I thought she didn't know about our village.
No, your uncle says that.
Oh.
Elaine, her grace has known about our village for several years since she is the heir apparent. We did much work with her during the War of the Pirate Kings as her father was dying and she was transitioning to power. We still interact with her rarely on occasion, but we have met her before.
Interesting. What am
Is
I?
Elaine in the room?
No, not right now.
I mean, does she know a lot about your village and your people?
Yes, that's how we got here so quickly. One of her mages came and teleported us here.
Hans and Franz
Okay.
just kind of looks at Una and back at them.
Okay.
Thank you for the honor.
She's lying ho, and that just makes Una not like her even more.
How
Why
is she a
did you ever-
lying hoe?
Because she didn't know the language.
Yeah, she.
No, she
Elaine
didn't.
didn't know the
No.
language.
Yeah,
Yeah, but none of the
it wasn't directly asked. It was like sidely aware. I don't know. Una just doesn't like her.
the language thing. No one understood it. Even Una didn't understand it 100%. It was like a very old, archaic version of the Selkie Island speech,
True.
like super dead language style.
I think you're just looking for a reason to hate her.
I just hate her.
Just because
hate
I
her.
watch anime doesn't mean I can understand Japanese here,
Ancient
okay?
Japanese.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, just because they interact doesn't necessarily mean that...
Una just hates her. Okay.
Yeah,
I
stop
know.
it.
Which doesn't make any sense to me at
Uh-huh.
all.
Megan
Yes.
just wants Una to join the dark side. Let the hate flow through you.
She's going to be a Sith, man. She's gonna go from a
Write that
Jedi to
down,
a
and
Sith.
you will complete your
Dude,
transition.
what
to
if
the
I do
dark
transition to
side.
like Padrick's side? That'd be too much like Mortimer. I couldn't do that.
Also, it would make sense because your mom
You
wouldn't
say
be cool
now.
with
My mom totally would not be cool with me going dark.
that.
I'll be Jedi like Luke forever.
No, but Yes, needless to say, he says, well, that settles that business. We do thank you for your help in this matter. Now, Una will be returning home in a day or so. If you wish to return, you can return with us. And Sigmar is like, now hold up. We did not decide that. And technically, that is not fully your expertise, Boyd. That is Elisad's. And unless he's particularly keen to get his youngest home soon, that is yet to be seen. And Elisad says, well, I will admit, as much as I would love to have my daughter home, she seems much more effective inland, and I would think it would be foolish, considering we were only focusing our efforts on the coastline, to not keep a very proactive agent and cadet of the village in this town. In fact, I was actually going to request we send a few more of the cadets here to continue research, since Elaine has offered some of her library to them. Boyd says, it just seems a little reckless, but if you are fine with other cadets coming this far, I suppose I shan't challenge you on that. Eris is like, I don't know if we should assume that just one place inland is experiencing issues. That means that we should concentrate our efforts here. I still say most of them are going to be out on the sea, and we should focus on that. And there's a little bit of back and forth, basically, of them trying to decide, should Una stay here? It seems like her dad is kind of like, I want to leave this up to Una, but I think there's weight in having more cadets in town, whether she's one of them or not. And Sigmar agrees with it, and he kind of is a little bit more of like the, I like that she went a little improv and took this. He looks like the type of guy who's more of the improv thinker and like had to be because he was in battle, versus Boyd and Eris are much more of like the patient waiters and schemers.
At this point, Una will interject. I do have some task here to finish with my fellow companions upon their journey. I do find that there would be some merit in sending a handful, either 2 or 3 cadets here to study and learn. However, their protection with the artifact here would probably be more valuable. But that was the only object that they were after here in this town before they were going to move on. I would suggest either using Lady Elaine's library or finding one more of ancient artifacts similar to the one that they were trying to steal here, and see if we can track those down prior to the first ones finding them. I think that would be more beneficial of our skills in tracking and searching than just staying in one place.
I 100% agree with the young cadet. Your dad says, and gives you like a slight smile, like, good job, I'm proud of you for handling that. Sigmar kind of nods and agrees. The other woman whose name you've heard is Eris shrugs and says, very well, I suppose so. And Boyd said, it seems that is what the consensus is for now. But yes, I believe that was all we needed to know in this regard. And
I turn to Una and go, so does this mean that you're an adult now?
That would be up to them, but I do not think that I have reached that point yet, unless they believe otherwise. In order for me to earn my mark, I think I must do a little bit more.
So, and Huz and Franz just, you know,
What you gotta do to get a mark?
They kind of like turn a little bit like, huh? Your dad speaks up, Una, and says, well, I'd say at the rate she's going, she's not very far from it. However, she would have to return home to get it. But I think if she keeps doing grand moves like this, it will not be very long at all. Maybe another task or 2. She's very much on her way to becoming a full-fledged ranger of the village.
So, just so I'm clear, until she gets that mark, she's not considered an adult? Is that right?
I am an adult in a way, but I'm not a full member of my village. I'm not provided my role.
you're not eligible for
village.
benefits, I see.
Yeah.
It's more of a...
I'm still just a
You gotta start
contractor.
paying into. You gotta start paying into the Social Security before you can actually reap the benefits.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
Boyd says she's still considered a cadet technically, but she will eventually, should she complete her tasks to the satisfaction of the leaders of the Rangers, one of them which is here, she will be given her mark of true adulthood in the village and take her place
Ranger
on
Daddy. Sorry.
the noble and honorable tradition of protecting not only our village but the humans that live on the shores. So it is a sort of rite of passage.
I would like
Okay.
a moment with you, and she'll gesture to the elders alone if my companions do not mind stepping out and waiting for me in the hall for a moment.
If you're sure.
Yes.
Hounds and Prouds back out.
Okay.
Nora will give a
We-
respectful nod
we-
and
As I'm closing the door, I lean my brother, or like I just look at my brother and go, apparently bringing down a criminal organization and saving a city is not enough.
I mean, the first ones are still out there technically.
But she brought down an elder from a village.
Yeah.
It's kind of
No,
horseshit. I mean, if you want, oh, you an adult? Did you take down a bunch of people from our village who are,
I mean,
many years
what
older
was
than
that?
us?
We got 3 agents and then 1 to flip sides. Like,
Yeah, I'm calling this is fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, but
kind of. I don't think the right dues are
what
given
happens
here.
if somebody can't make this test and they're not a member of the village? They're never an adult. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I mean, she's still not an adult, so
But even still, she does like 10,000 more missions or whatever.
that's what I
and
was
eventually
saying.
she gets. But what happens if
They
somebody?
just kind of keep stringing her along.
Yeah, but what happens
Like,
if somebody?
good job, but we got another one for you, cadet.
You guys suddenly hear a very sharp female voice from behind you that says, "Forgive me for interrupting."
Oh no!
And you recognize the Duchess and Lady Seema standing outside the door.
Okay,
Forgive me for interrupting your
that's
quarrel.
okay. That's
No,
just-
it's not the
wait,
quarrel. We're just frustrated with
What
the
do we?
selkies.
Her Grace.
Address her as?
Wait.
Okay. It's okay, Your Grace. We're just
Frustrated. with
excited
the
for our friend.
two Good.
Frustrated.
Excited is another way to say upset.
Frustrated with the selkies.
Yeah, excited is another way to say upset.
Certainly a very expressive bunch, but I can't say I blame you for being confused. They have customs of what makes them an elder in their village, and those who choose a more hard path have a much higher standard to live up to.
Well, Una asked to speak to them alone, so here we are.
Oh, well, then I will wait out here with you, but it actually suits me well. I was hoping to contact you anyway when you arrived back in town, as I was interested in seeing if you would enjoy doing a little bit more work for me.
Yeah, it's
What
a
sort of
possibility.
work?
Well, when we were talking to Ulin and interrogating the other 3, we found that they had multiple attempts of trying to summon creatures, and many of them did not go and reach the plane that they had intended. So that, with more reports of strange things being spotted in the aqueducts and sewers, I have been trying to find somebody to go down there and kill monsters, and it's like from...
You mean that thing that we fought with all the mouths and the streaking noises? That was an accident? Didn't you get some of the teeth, brother?
I gave them.
to Hughes.
Oh,
I didn't know that you had gone down and fought monsters before. That would make
well,
you
that
more
was
fit for the job. You said it was a
you
mouth
know,
creature.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was like like a stalagmite, but it had like and lots of mouths.
No, brother, it's okay. He gets excited when he's talking about battle.
Can you please make
can't
that
imagine-
noise again?
Don't worry, I've got it recorded.
I got it recorded too.
Lady Seamus chimes in at this time and says, I can't imagine much in life that doesn't get you too excited. It's a very, very likable trait.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assuming you mean was some sort of, you said it was a stalactite monster. Did it look like it was made of mud and have a bunch of mouths?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yes, that would probably be a gibbering mouther. Yeah, that is from a different plane from the one that they must have been trying to reach. So yes, they unfortunately could have summoned a few things from the wrong area that are now wreaking havoc in the aqueducts. And I would prefer to send you all down there over some poor city workers, considering I don't particularly like my citizens just dying.
I
From
think
the-
they're gibbering now. They probably ate a couple of
So
the
yes,
workers.
if
So
you want us to go down and take a look, we can do that.
Excellent. I will have my master of the aqueducts get in contact with you in plans. He has a map going currently of where most of the strange behaviors have been cited, so it can limit your search and make you more effective.
oh,
Thank you.
excellent.
And if you successfully kill things, I will pay you based on how much and what.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
So
What if they get, kicked back out into their plane so we don't have any evidence? I mean, I guess I'm pretty good at describing things, so
Yes.
probably
let's
just
get
go off of
Selfie's
that.
brother.
No, selkies. not
You,
sel-
you have to get out your drawing pad and draw me with it really quick.
Oh, okay.
Just sculpt you out of iron. Just there you go. Just creating sculptures. Use my divine thing to create sculptures of monsters.
Miniature monsters of what we
Oh my
kill.
goodness! I should start minis. Hans and Franz can sell minis.
Hans and Franz's
So it's
marvelous minis.
D&D starts with Hans and Franz describing how the battle went with little metal
and
miniatures
moving them
to the-
around.
to the
and-
Duchess. And then my brother went over
Oh
here.
my god.
And then he had 5 more people.
You know, we should make a game out of this.
Mhm.
Right?
Um,
So we agree.
She says, "Well, the every interaction I've had with you so far seems as if you have been honest. So, well, as for now, I will take your word for what you managed to kill by description."
Thank you. So, how are you two doing?
I mean, you're looking pretty good health, brother.
Just asking how you doing.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Give me a persuasion check.
Hans and Franz wants to gauge this reaction.
No, he's just trying to be friendly.
Sure how much they'll open up based on it. It's not like they're offended by it.
19!
Seamus looks at Elaine and is like, "When was the last time anyone has asked us that?" Elaine is like, "It has certainly been some time, probably since I last saw my grandfather and mother when they visited." And actually, give me an insight check, Hans and Franz.
Which one?
You.
Both of you, since you're looking at them to both be like, "How are you doing?" And Josh, you were like, "I'm gonna you got a 5, okay."
But I got a
Josh,
That
26.
got 26.
With your insight, you can see Elaine specifically looks very, very tired, and she's very composed, but you can see that there's some underlying like anger that is simmering there that you can detect, but she's kind of masking it politically. Like, she's got her poker face on, but there's just a few things where she's like, she looks very tired. Like there are some bags a little
Right,
bit.
Cracks
exhausted.
are starting to show a little bit.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
Well, what about Lady Seamist?
Seamist also looks tired, but the way that she just seems more like a cheerful person in general, and she kind of doesn't look as tired as Elaine, and looks like her body language is mirroring to be more of like, I'm concerned about her health, and is kind of amused at the fact that he just casually asked, like, "How are you doing?" Like, it's not like a,
How are you now?
yeah, like, because normally
Good and
people are
you.
like, "I want favors, I'm playing a poodle game." This guy's just like, "How are you doing?" Like, you're Joe from the bar.
Since
With-
I didn't catch
yeah, since you
any
didn't
of
get
that, what did she say again?
Seamus
Good?
turned to her and smiled and said, "When was the last time somebody
Okay.
asked you that?" And Elaine said, "Probably when my mother or grandfather visited." I am, as a duchess is, busy and
that's-
keeping a hand on what I can in this kingdom, and sitting in many board meetings with very long, frustrating conversations.
That sounds not very much fun, but
Mhm.
I mean, if you ever need some people to just like hang out that aren't necessarily your subjects. You know, I don't know if you like to spar or anything like that. Lady Seamist, I think you enjoy fighting. My friends and I, we're not from here, so we're not going to take it personal if you beat us up or something. So if you guys, if either of you ever just need somebody to talk to or want to,
blow off some steam.
maybe get in the workout or something, just throwing it out there. You two seem very, very nice. I understand we've got some bad blood with one of our party members, but she's a little childish sometimes, and I do apologize for the way that happened the other night.
You can see her thinking for a minute. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, the youngest one, yes, from the village.
I don't think she's technically the youngest, but yeah.
Certainly the most immature, but she's trying.
She means well. I think she just
does.
is, she's trying her best to live up to the expectations her village has set, and that's a lot of weight on one person's shoulders.
Yeah, and if you can't tell, we're pretty frustrated with the weight that's been put on her shoulders too.
Well, I hadn't actually given too much thought to her, to be honest, but I will say if she intends to carry the weight on her shoulders, then she'd best learn to deal with it, because it will only get worse from here, if whatever she's tied to is what we think it might be.
And what exactly do you think it might be?
Well, you were in the room with all of us talking about it originally.
Where it happened, room where it
Room
happened.
where it happened, room where it happened.
Copyright.
That's from Hamilton.
Yes, that's 5 seconds, it's fine. Some sort of ancient being that this cult is trying to summon.
Yeah, brother, didn't you listen to the recap?
No, I just, I wanted to make sure that there wasn't any new information, since we didn't hear, the interrogations and stuff like that, so.
That's a good point. It's good to have more information.
I plan on keeping you in reserve for allies if this goes further. Your friend did not leave the most trustworthy view of herself. However, I feel if you all are there, then things will get handled. So,
Thank you.
they certainly are taking a long time, and we'll cut back to you, Nick.
Jesus Christ.
Una, you are left alone with the village elders.
I want to apologize for stepping outside of the bounds, but I did act in what I assume to be the best interest, so I just wanted to clear the air on that matter, that I do feel a bit bad about going against my initial requirements, but I do think it was in the betterment of the village. I also was curious if you were contacted by Orin prior to your teleport here.
Your father speaks up and says, yes, he arrived on the island 3 days before we left with the other artifact, which I assume is I don't know if to call it a cousin or another familiar piece to what you found. It was another artifact made out of bone with carvings in it. Elaine showed us the one that was kept in the library, and we have it guarded in the village as of right now. But yes, he gave me a report, and Sigmar says, yes, he also did explain the rationale of why you split, and personally it makes sense to me. Whether everyone agrees with that or not, I do think it was the right course of action. He looks at Boyd, and Boyd is like, yes, well, your apology is appreciated. It shows that you have grown up a bit and you are taking responsibility for things, so you are fortunate it worked out this way. I would urge caution in the future, but otherwise, yes, the results are a positive for the village. And Era says, yes, I must admit I thought that it was a bit crazy when I heard one of Elaine's people contact us and warn that the break-in had happened, and thought it was a bit crazy that one of our own cadets had been caught up in this, but seems to be you had a handle on the situation, so I can find little fault in your actions with what information you had. And your father nods appropriately and says, it was definitely risky, but I think her reasons were sound, and it is going to be a good reflection on her path to becoming a ranger.
I was curious if you would allow me to handle that piece so I can continue to study it and its properties. I do have a theory on how to possibly track down the rest of said pieces. But unless you have ideas of your own, but I think it might be helpful.
Well, we definitely are going to send other cadets here as well to do research in the library and have a couple of our elders study it as well. But provided Elaine approves of you also being one of the cadets that examines it and such, the only request is, and we do agree with her, that it is safer in the school, carefully guarded by mages at this point, than letting you physically carry the item around. But I believe it can be arranged, as we're currently making a passable fake of sorts for Ulan to take back to. He kind of like pauses a bit, like he's gonna say your uncle's name, but then he says the first ones. But there's still a bit more questioning that we were trying to get out of the others that are captured before we fully send him back. Otherwise, he's been fairly cooperative, and I suppose it's all we can do at this point is just try to learn more information. Eris is like, I'm very interested in hearing what your plan is to find these artifacts. If we could find them all beforehand and safely assure they are protected, that would be the premier solution to this.
It is just a theory, but if the essence on the bone here is similar to the essence of the one that Oren found, maybe there might be a way to track that essence and the other pieces that this is broken into. Also, I'm sure stories or the power that this emanates may relate to stories around surrounding areas and or effects on specific areas that may be uncommon. I have yet to, unfortunately, speak with Oren about his adventure at acquiring his, but if the stories around this one are anything to speak, then it must have been an extraordinary event or something that we may be able to catalog and find via research, and maybe eventually even using the magic that these emit to track it to their sources.
I think that's a fairly wise strategy, and I will be sure to pass that on to the cadets that we send along. And being that Oren and Caitlin and Perry were the others that found them, I believe that they should come here as well. Maybe a couple other, I have a few other very cadets that would definitely fit into more of the academic category than ones such as yourself, who are more hands-on. So perhaps they can be included in the mix. And she kind of looks to your father like, what do you think about that? And he nods. Says, yes, having scholars amongst the warriors would be preferable, but we can nail down the specifics of who actually comes and such. But Boyd says, well, is there anything else you wish to share with us, Cadet Una?
I just wanted to make sure that you're aware of Oren's activities and knowing that he has an artifact that is what I'm assuming was the next one that Lou was going to go after with the others. So since we got to think that is a win in our book, however, I believe that there are several more, and the one that we now have in our village is top priority to keep secret and or safe, as well as maybe might be a way to help weed out those who are part of the first ones that have stayed in the village as well as spies.
Says, yes, we believe it's more than likely that there might be a few more lurking around in the village, but and removing them would be preferable. The more information we have, the more the better. But I have no more questions for her. If there's anything else, we should probably get back to meeting with Her Grace, hopefully soon. That woman does have a lot of conference meetings she has to go to. And Sigmar's like, well, we can't have expected them to be in wait forever. Like, she basically dropped everything for those first few days just to meet with us and talk to these prisoners. Boyd says, well, this is of importance, that's all I'm saying. And then your father stands up and says, I would like a moment alone to talk to you, Cadet Una, if you don't mind. And he kind of like motions you to follow him. There's a little bit more of like a private, like kind of closet in the room that he kind of motions you towards.
I'll go with him.
Okay.
Actually professional as possible.
I'm sorry for interrupting, but I was like, man, everyone's just getting kicked out into the hall.
Right.
But like, all right, side room.
Yep,
Like,
side room.
Side room.
Side room.
Okay.
You're you guys get into a bit of privacy, and your dad like releases his shoulder, like releases the stiffness, and he like immediately hugs you and is like, "Oh, you did so well in there, Una. I'm so proud of you." He does like a big pickup hug. And he actually kind of like he's taller, and so he like kneels down a bit so he's closer to your height. And
Oh,
like,
I would
can kinda,
totally
pick
like
you up.
hug him back as much as
Mhm.
possible.
And he like gives you like a forehead kiss and then like ruffles your hair, and he says, "Mean Scott, when did you become such a grown-up when I wasn't looking?" And you know in your village that means like a pet name, and it's always what he called you as a kid, and it means like my treasure. It's like a term of endearment.
I must admit, I definitely feel like I have a lot more to growing up, but it is great praise to hear it from you, and I hope to do more to honor you and our family.
Feeling like a bit like Milan here, and he just kind of like shakes his head and he says, "Una, you could be a fisherman, a weaver, or anything, and the greatest honor I could ever have is just having someone like you as a daughter. I'm so proud of you. Please don't get hurt. I know that this is the path you've chosen, and I can't even promise you I won't get hurt on being a ranger, but do your best to survive, and God, I've missed you." And he just kind of like hugs you again and is just like, very affectionate with you, like so happy. You can tell that he was like so worried, like, "Oh my God, she's alone in the village. Nope, she's trying to be a grown up," but he's just like, "She's my baby girl, and I want to make sure she's okay."
Yeah, I would definitely like hug her back. So she'd probably have like watery eyes at this point and near tears, and trying to just hold back the tears, and more like the fighting it, so she's not wanting to speak, I guess, but just the overwhelming joy of just seeing her dad again since it's been.
With a new mission on the horizon and Nora and Rowan's parents fast approaching, what will happen over the next few days for our adventurers as they settle back into Faine? Find out next time on The Guardians of Fehal.
And our sisters and see how they're doing, and
Yeah, he'll give you the fill-ins. He'll basically say, your sister's still the one who is had more of an affinity with animals. She's one of the spiritualists on the island and wise people. And he's like, "You may have another sister. I believe she's I don't know if they're engaged yet, but they don't put terms on it, but I'm fairly certain they're going to be betrothed." Or he wouldn't say betrothed. He's like, "I'm pretty sure they will say their vows, hopefully next summer in the seasons." You know how she is about the timings of things, but she'll be married soon to what's her fiance's name? We'll say she's planning to marry Elfie next summer. It should be very sweet. You'd like her, Una. She's a very sweet woman. Someone has to be sweet to put up with Gretchen's personality.
that is true. I hope I can make it.
In our last episode, the party had settled back into Faine, with Nora and Rowan preparing for their parents' visit the following day, and Una diving headfirst into her project to make Nora's special dress for when her family arrives, in time for her birthday. They found themselves, however, being a little distracted and summoned to the palace, where they met with 3 of the elders from Una's village, as well as her father, who were interested in their report of the events following the break-in to the school, where they actually ran into Lady Elaine Eris, who propositioned them to do another job, fighting some more monsters in the aqueducts that may have been summoned by Para. With them accepting the task and planning to get in touch with the master of the city aqueducts, the party left after Una spent a tiny bit of quality time catching up with her father and giving them all a bit of a tasty treat from her village that some reacted more positively to than others. And now we continue. Well, that first date was a little bit more unexpected than usual, or was it a date? Who can say? Find out next time on The Guardians of Fehal.
So that you haven't met yet, and I'll summon Spriel at this point too, off of my tattoo, so he can meet him, and then also feed Spriel some of the spicy squid. His name is Spriel.
Oh my goodness. And you're learning magic too. Now I'm not sure you're my daughter. I can't do that. If I did, it would be very helpful.
It was being surrounded by all of these students that
Mhm.
sparked my interest in exploring this side of the world and the abilities that magic can do.
I'm happy you're taking advantage of it because not many people from our islands will ever get to leave. And, you know, the more you get to see the world and know people, the easier it is to see how wonderful it really is. So, and he's just kind of like petting Spreul, like, you know, just fascinated that you have a
Yeah.
pet bird and, you know, magic. And he's asking you about stuff and you guys are catching up. Is there anything else you specifically wanted to ask him or?
Nope, that's pretty much it. She would probably say, I do believe that Ulin means well, and he has sworn upon Mother that he wants to help, and he understands that he did take the wrong step off the path, and her loss, as well as what he feels is a betrayal by my sister, sparked all of this. So I do think it'd be a wise path to put a little bit more faith and trust into him, just to show that we do, as a village, care about him.
I'm not going to say that I'm not disappointed and feel that Ulin is blaming a lot of his issues on others, that he should take responsibility for himself. However, I am going to trust him with this because I do feel as though sometimes when somebody says they're going to change, you have to at least give them the opportunity to. And so far, he hasn't done anything to breach that trust yet. Well, we will see.
And if worse comes to worse, I do have a piece of him if needed.
Yeah, he nods. Well, suppose that's what we'll have to go on and hope for the best. Plan for the worst. Ranger's code.
Just think, this is exactly what Mother would be doing too if she was here.
I miss her too, Una. She'd be very proud of you and where you are right now.
And maybe one day I can be just as good as her. And then on that note, she'll give her dad one more hug and then start walking out the door. So at this time, they're probably
Yeah.
done talking to Lady Elaine.
Yeah. Yep, you guys part ways and the elders like kind of give you like a nod of like leaving and stuff like that. And your dad nods as well and then kind of mouths like, love you and like, be safe. And
I'll smile.
yeah.
Oh, and I'll de-summon Spreul. At that point, be like, oh shoot! Like, I entered the closet without a bird. I come out with a
I'm
bird.
glad that
No one knows how that
Where did
happened.
the bird come from?
I'm glad you came out of the closet, Una.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you the elders, you know, say goodbye, and your uncle reiterates that, you know, if Elaine agrees to have you train with or talk to the other cadets and work with them, then that will be, but there shouldn't be an issue with it. And basically ushers you off, and they kind of go back to talking. And Sigmar takes a minute and is like, Did she always have a bird? As you shut the door, that's here, and you see your friends outside talking to Elaine and Lady Seamus.
Yep. Una's just gonna move away from the door and cross the hall and stand in the back of the group and just sit and wait for them to get done talking.
Well, probably as soon as the door opens, we all stop talking and turn.
Yep. Yes. There's probably just a touch bit more awkward small talk or whatever, and then she'll say, well, I will have my master of the city aqueducts reach out to you, and hopefully you can take care of the rest of those creatures sooner rather than later. And I thank you for your work with, I thank you for your work in helping protect the civilians of the city. And she'll kind of give a polite like nod and like I'm just you're free to go about whatever you need to.
Free to
And
move out the cabin.
no, well, actually she's like, my guards can help escort you out. And we'll go
I guess
into
we're
the
done
room
here,
with the
okay.
meetings with everybody else and then close the door. So you
Okay,
guys are in the
thank you.
hallway.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, bye.
Wait, did you say hope you sleep?
And I hope it goes well. But yeah, I hope you sleep well too.
I was like, you didn't roll a high enough insight check to know she was tired.
I hope you sleep well. That's just good advice for everybody. I say it to everybody. Jeez.
All right, yeah, you
Good
guys are
night,
all
Rowan. I
together.
hope you sleep.
What is sleep?
How did it go in there?
Una,
It went Well, I just had some additional questions for them regarding what the other cadets were up to, as well as just to speak with my father alone, away from the elders.
How did you
Okay.
feel seeing your father again? It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been about 9 months since I've seen him last. It's been difficult, but it was good to see him, and tons of emotions, of course. Trying not to cry and making sure that I can live up to the standards of my village to make him proud and make my mother's memory proud. So it was good to see him and see that he was happy with the work that was done, as well as the fact that I did not get scolded too harshly in front of him regarding the activities that occurred. But and I did
So-
get a treat, and she'll open a package of what seems to be squid. Have you guys seen squid before?
Seal jerky.
I
Definitely
don't
not.
think Hans and Franz would have. I mean,
Okay.
the first time we saw an octopus was when Ulan turned into one.
Oh yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess you'll see these long tentacly things with like big long bodies covered in like a ready pepper coat on them, and she'll hand them out for you guys to try.
I mean, this kind of looks like meat,
It's
Is it
But
like
but it
the
also looks like a
full-
plant.
Is it like the full
it's a
squid?
full squid.
Okay.
Oh,
Nora
it's
just
a whole
Nora just-
little tiny squid.
And maybe Nora, you might not want this. It is an animal.
Yeah, I don't eat anything with eyes, but
Do you want to
Thank-
lick the spice on it?
Why-
You can lick it if you want.
Do you eat stuff without eyes?
I mean, technically, vegetables
no, it's
have eyes.
it's just an expression.
Okay, I was gonna say because potatoes have eyes, and I've seen you eat those.
Not those kind of eyes, silly.
But what if if it was an animal that grew up on the ground and didn't have eyes, you still won't eat it, right?
It's an animal. I still wouldn't eat it.
That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no.
Nothing,
Thank
nothing
you.
with a heartbeat.
Nothing living with an actual heartbeat, but plants are living. This is getting complicated. I'm okay, but thank you.
I don't know how to eat this.
you just you tear off a piece. And
Yeah, it's dried,
Eat it.
like jerky.
yeah,
jerky
and then-
squid.
and you eat it. It's like super spicy. Like
Yeah, like hot
Ghost-
pepper spice.
yeah, like ghost
That's
pepper
poisoned.
spicy. It is a rare treat for our village to get these, or the spice to go with these squids. So I was very happy that they were able to bring me some.
Andrew's face right now.
I
How does
don't-
Hans in front react to the spice?
I'm reacting right now.
Yeah, he's reacting. He's
Narrate
acting.
it.
I'm
Narrate
about
it.
to
getting
speak, woman.
there.
You just see Una like eating like one of this. Yeah, she's just like constantly popping it in her mouth.
So, as Hans and Franz begins sweating profusely, Una, I don't think you're supposed to eat this.
Are you
I-
okay?
I don't think
Looks like
so.
he's hurting.
Ah, it's whatever you want to.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got water. Hold on.
I have some holy
So
water
it
in my
doesn't make it
bag.
better. It doesn't make it better. I don't know what to do. And he like reaches in his pouch and starts like pulling out regular jerky and some like trail ratchets, just like. Luna, what have you done? Is this supposed to kill me? I think she's trying to
I
get
don't think I
disguised.
want to eat this, Una.
Try it.
No, no.
Oh my god.
I mean, it looks painful.
How about have some of your brothers, and so I'll grab it back from
no,
Hans and Franz Andrew.
I'm still like death
Are
grip
you?
holding it, like I don't know what to do.
Hans and Franz, and she'll motion towards Andrew. If you don't like it, I can take it back.
No, it's okay. It was a treat. Thank you very much. I'm just gonna put it in here for later.
It was so spicy, his balls retreated back up into his spot.
Wow.
My nipples have
Because they
reversed.
knocked-
I'll tear off a small piece and like just like a tiny like quarter-sized piece and motion to Josh. Is the Hans and Franz be like, just a small bite. You don't have to have a whole one.
As
Just-
my
Okay.
face stops bleeding, I'm like, Sang's buddy had some really spicy stuff, but that was really good. It was like a palette of flavors. This is like
I hate everybody. Oh,
Oh, no. No, I don't like it. No, brother had the right idea. Let's save that for later.
Didn't you like the hot peppers you had before at the
I
festival?
just rolled for these. I don't like the squid.
Oh,
Oh.
you rolled for it. Oh.
and for my Hans and Franz, he does
He
like
does like-
spicy, but because he had that soup,
Yeah.
right? That the one guy made Song's buddy when we
Oh,
met
yeah.
him. And
Not
it was like-
Song's buddy. Yeah, one of the tiefling guy who sold the
Yeah,
spices.
And it was really it
Norris.
was spicy, but it was like a palette from
Yeah.
Megan's description. This is just like, here's a bunch of cayenne pepper, whack.
Pretty
Here's-
much.
Here's some fire in powdered form.
Yeah.
It's like gently coating the squid like a good jerky rub.
Mhm.
It's just
spicy,
it's
though.
really spicy because Una likes spice.
Let's just say I failed my taste save, and I do not like squid.
Ooh.
It's chewier than I thought it would be too. It's a different texture. It was good though. I
Yeah.
mean, I think I'm gonna try putting this in like a stew or something to let that seasoning disperse
Mellow.
a bit.
Yeah, maybe rehydrate it a bit.
So at this point, Nora's getting very curious.
Okay.
Lick?
Is there any that hasn't touched the squid or like
Can
any?
like is it
anything
like
that
in
I
a
can-
paper package or I guess how is it wrapped? Is
Yeah,
it like
there's
in a pouch?
probably a little bit of like the spices rubbed
A little
off.
bit
like,
of
on the-
Cheeto dust in the bottom.
Yeah.
Cheeto dust.
Yeah. So Una would grab some of that out and hand it to Nora, not letting her know that it probably just fell off of the squid.
That's fine. You don't have to tell her.
Let's see what.
She'll scrape up the like as much as she can and give you like probably like a half a teaspoon size serving of spice.
Nora's just
Quite a
gonna,
bit
because of seeing the reactions, she's just gonna dip a finger into it very cautiously and just doing like,
Well, that's really hot. It's really good though. I don't know what I would put it on though.
she's like thinking like, what would this even go with?
Dried squid.
It does have a very so like. There's probably no way for this. This is more of a DM note. Like Nora, as you're eating this spice, there's a lot of saltiness to it as well.
Right.
Like, it's not bad. It's because like above table, it's because it fell off the squid, so like it has a lot of the squiddy flavor
The brininess.
still, like the salt,
Yeah.
the brininess. But it's not bad. It tastes pretty good.
At this point, Nora's just she's gonna have to walk around now going,
Yeah. So like,
Yeah.
as we leave and the guards are escorting us out, Hans and Franz is still like sweating and red, and he's like, oh, and he like rubs his face, and then immediately like falls over.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Brother, what's wrong?
My eyes, brother, my eyes.
What
I don't know
happened?
what. I touched my
I
eyes.
gotta get in there with some medicine check.
Don't touch the squid and then your eyes.
just healing word this? Like, what do we do?
Would prestidigitation work?
Shit.
The dust, I
Let's
guess.
see here. All right, 18 medicine. I
All right,
identify that he has irritated eyes.
Yes, you can see from like you could see his fingers still have a little bit of like the residue on it.
And he just
and
keeps,
by-
because he doesn't get why, so he
Yeah,
just
right.
keeps.
No, brother, stop it! Stop it! You're putting the burning dust in your eyes. Don't,
Why would it burn my eyes?
because it burned your mouth.
Yeah, but I've eaten stuff that burned my mouth and didn't burn my eyes.
Don't. It's irritating your eyes. Hold on. I need some water.
I'll use prestidigitation.
You can clean you can clean his fingers off.
What about the eyes?
I'm pouring water on his eyes like I'm
It's
washing
like
him
head
out.
back, like.
Ah.
Una's
You
just
know, there's
smiling
like
the whole
snot
time.
running down. It's like, it's not pretty.
Yep.
Una's just smiling the whole time, just eating it like it's popcorn. Just like, yep.
Ah, okay. I think we're good. And I go to like touch my face again, then I'm like, like supreme power of will, put my hand back down. Even though they said they're clean, It's gonna be a while until he can trust his hands again.
Until he can trust his hands.
It's kind of like how he won't go into he doesn't like going into the university because he's scared they're gonna find out his weapon wasn't peace bound one time.
Pretty much.
With a new mission on the horizon and Nora and Rowan's parents fast approaching, what will happen over the next few days for our adventurers as they settle back into Faine? Find out next time on the Guardians of Fehal.